Alright, Commander Deck Tech time. I'm Joshua Jones here with Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. This is a promo edition, and the promo is Ghalta Primal Hunger. So if you go out this last weekend in 2017 to play in your store championship for Rivals of Ixalan, you're going to be getting Ghalta, and I figured, hey, why don't we do a mono green Commander Deck Tech on this Elder Dinosaur. It's a 12/12, it costs 12, but Ghalta Primal Hunger costs X less to cast, where X is the total power among creatures you control. And, of course, Trample. It's important to note that X less to cast means that it is going to be able to reduce the commander tax cost for you if it goes back to the command zone and costs 2 more. Well, that just means that you can have it cost that 2 more less as well. You're always going to have to pay at least 2 green for it, though. So let's just jump right into this. You can go a bunch of different ways with this, but the way I went was to try to win through commander damage, and I'm playing 20 ramp spells, 10 of which are just spell based, and then 10 mana dorks. And also in the utility slot, just for flavor reasons, I went with 10 different dinos, but you could play a bunch of different creatures and mix it up yourself if you want. Just use this as a guide. So by the time I got done saying all that, you should have been able to read this already. But of course, we're running Growing Rites of Ixalan, which transforms into Ixalan Cradle of the Sun. So you get a tap for green equal to the amount of creatures you control, and then Nature's Lore and Rampant Growth. Search for a land and put it into play. Tapped and tapped. And then search for Tomorrow, Kadama's Reach, Cultivate, and Nissa's Pilgrimages. So the 3 mana versions of get a land into play or a land to your hand. Actually, both, sorry. So into play and into your hand. And then on turn 1, if you have nothing else to do, you might as well just go ahead and suspend the search for Tomorrow. And here we have the 4 mana get 2 lands into play. And then in the case of Explorer, you can play an additional land and draw a card. And here are the dorks. So the Archdruid here is going to tap for green equal to the amount of elves you control, plus it acts as a lord. Harbinger lets you tutor for an elf to the top and adds 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. These 2 also reduce the cost of your commander because they have power on them. And then that's important to remember for all of the creatures in this deck. Here we have Titania, Tree Speaker, Sage, and Explorer, so they all tap to add mana in some form or another. 1 equal to the amount of elves in play, 1 equal to the amount of counters with the Evolve mechanic, and then 1 that lets you level up to tap for double green. Here we have the 4 1 mana 1/1 Dorks. And then we have our removal. We have Coursing Group and Beast Within, so it gets rid of a permanent if you wanted to and you were flooded out and you just didn't want to target some other kind of troublesome permanent. You could just like get rid of an extra land to reduce your commander's cost by 3 and get a 3/3 token, but mainly it's just to destroy target permanent that's troublesome for you. And then the split second on Coursing Grip's too good to pass up to get rid of an artifact or enchantment that is getting out of hand. Here we have Prey Upon, Pounce, Savage Punch, and Savage Stomp. So they're all just your basic fight cards. In the case of Savage Punch, it's important to note that while that creature that you target, if you have Ferocious activated, has the +2 boost, then it is going to reduce the cost of your commander by 2 additional mana, but only until end of turn. And then Savage Punch puts that counter on, so it permanently reduces the cost as long as that creature has that 1/1 counter on it and is out. And it also can only cost 1 green if the target is a dinosaur. Here we have Wall Tracker, so we get to have a fight card, like a fight spell on a stick, and then Acidic Slime, Terrasadon, or Reclamation Sage because they destroy things and they come on a body, which reduces the cost of our commander. Here we have our draw suite, so we're playing Shaper's Sanctuary. So whenever something's targeted by a spell or ability opponent's controls, we get to draw a card. That's creature, not just any permanent, but whenever our creatures are targeted. Lightcrafter's Bestiary, which allows us to control our draws with the Scry trigger, and then we can pay green to draw a card whenever we cast a creature. Hunter's Insight, so we can use it as a combat trick. If we know one of our creatures is going to get in for combat damage on a player or planeswalker, we draw that many cards. Lifecrafter's Legacy, which we're going to make sure we want to sack a creature that's power 3 or greater so that we end up one card or greater. And then we have Wildest Dreams and Praetor's Council to get stuff back from our graveyard to our hand. And then also in the case of the Council, make it so we have no more maximum hand size. And then Shamanic Revelation for a little extra life gain with our card draw. And then just Soul Masteries for card draw. We have Rishkar's Expertise and Collective Unconscious, both the same card. They draw a card for each creature you control and draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, plus we cast a CMC 5 or less from our hand without paying its mana cost. Then Harmonize, classic draw spell in green, Soul of Harvest, which is going to give us a creature to reduce our commander's cost. Again, I'm going to say that like 100 times by the time this video is over. And we get to draw a card whenever a non-creature enters the battlefield under our control. Then we have Protection, so I'm running 10 Protection spells, 2 right here that give an Indestructible. So for the cost of 5 mana, permanents we control get Indestructible, and then once this is in our graveyard, 5 mana exile it to give creatures we control or permanents we control Indestructible until the end of the turn. Also 6 power right there, and then 5 power on the Behemoth, and we can pay 1 to give target creature with power 5 or greater Indestructible this turn. Here we have Glaring Spotlight, so it gives us a hedge against Voltron decks by allowing them to be targeted as though they didn't have Hexproof. And then for 3 mana, we sack it, and creatures we control gain Hexproof and Unblockable. So for 4 mana, we can sneak this in on our main phase 1 to make sure that we get in with a Hexproof commander that's going to be unblockable. Swiftfoot, Lightning Greaves, and Mask are all common artifacts that give Hexproof to the creature they're equipped to. Blinding Fog and Ranger's Guile as just a one-off. Creatures you control gain Hexproof, and then target creature gains Hexproof. And also like a Fog and a quick little bump to the PT. Heroic Intervention, which gives Indestructible and Hexproof to all our permanents, but it's just a one-time use thing unless we get it back from our graveyard. And Archetype of Endurance, which gives creatures we control Hexproof and our opponents lose Hexproof. And then I went with the dinos, like I said earlier. So we got Ripjaw Raptor and Snapping Cellback, which flash in. They're cool little dinos, and then one draws us cards. And then Death Gorge Scavenger is our little kind of kitchen finksy card of Ranging Raptors to get that, get the lands out of our deck into the battlefield tapped effect, and then Ravishing Danger Tooth to gain 2 life, and Death Mist Raptor because I loved Death Mist Raptor and Dim Protector when that was in Standard, and it is officially a dinosaur now. Here we have Terra Stomper, the core set little dude there, and then Plated Crusher. I don't know if these 2 beasts got switched over to dinosaurs, but I like them and they're cool, so I put them in the deck. If you wanted to switch either one out with a Carnage Tyrant, that would be a good thing to do if you had $12 additional. But these 2 by themselves only cost about 60 cents or something, and Carnage Tyrant cost about $12. Thundering Spineback to give us more creatures and a Lord for our dinosaurs. And Verdant Sun's Avatar to give us life gain. It's important to note with Thunder Spineback that by paying 6 mana, you can get a 3/3, which is essentially a 4/4. So for 6 mana, you can get a 4/4 and reduce the cost of your commander by 4. So it's not essentially like paying 2, but you see where I'm going with that. And then we're running 36 lands. I started out with 39, I went to 40, and I ended up with 36. And I think that's just going to be fine. So we're running 10 utility lands and then 26 forest. So the utility lands, you can see 6 of them here. No maximum hand size hedge because we're drawing a lot of cards. Rogue's Passage to get an unblockable, and then Hunter's Fingraph to get a card back at random from our graveyard to our hand. Then we have the Ornery Fastwood, which allows us to put a 1/1 counter on each green creature that enters the battlefield. So that's pretty good because, say, like on turn 4, you have 3 forest, and then you have this land untapped. You could like tap out 3. You could tap out like 3 different dudes in 3 forests to play some 6 mana spell, and then get like Ornreef to give a 1/1 counter to that thing. And I don't know, it just gets pretty crazy. It's a great land. Mosswort because Hideaway, it's almost always going to be able to get you a free card from the top 4 at some point in the game, and then fly to Woodland to search for a land. And that's Ghalta Primal Hunger. So I hope you got one of these the last weekend of 2017 at your store championship. The card's not actually available on TCG at the time of making this deck, so even though this says $55, it is going for about $5 the Primal Hunger is, so this deck's going to cost you about $60 unless you got it for free store championship weekend, and then $55. Hey, if you want to check this deck out, go to mtggoldfish.com, deck number 873130. I'm Joshua Jones with Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering, bringing you this Commander deck tech today. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want, go ahead and subscribe so you can get our videos whenever they come out, and share with your friends. Hey, I hope you had a great time at Rivals of Ixalan Store Championship Weekend. I'm Joshua, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.